Hi, Tom. Welcome to Global Influencers Hub. Here we talk about the life journeys of social media influencers, and we cannot wait to deep dive into yours. What I mean by deep dive is taking you right back to your childhood, where it all began. So tell us about Tom as a child.
Um, well, I would say as a child, I was quite a quiet person, quite an introverted person. Um, I had, I had quite a few friends. I was part of a few clubs. I was in the Cubs and the Scouts. Where I'm from. I'm from Liverpool, as you might be able to notice by my accent.
For your
Um,
accent, yeah, from your accent, yes, of course.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big Liverpool Football Club fan. So
Oh.
I've supported them all my life.
Hmm.
So when I was a child, I would go to the football match quite a lot with my dad, and then when I grew up into my teens, I go with my brother, my friends. I've got three older brothers, so I'm the youngest of four boys.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, so I think that's why I might have been a little bit quieter because I had three older brothers. They weren't bullies or they weren't like bad
But
to me or
just
anything.
someone to the three of them you looked up to probably.
Yeah, yeah,
Ex-
and
Yeah,
the age
yeah.
the age difference between us all was quite. There's quite a bit of an age difference. Like there's 5 years
Oh,
above
okay. So
the
that
next.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's like sort of 5 or 3 years between all of us. So me and the oldest, he's like 12 years older than me.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so so there's a bit of an age difference, but we all got along. We all, had fun. We all had a laugh. We all argued and fought as well as you would expect. My mum and dad were really good parents to us. I had it quite easy because I was the youngest, so I was looked after. I think a little bit more than the
Right,
others.
right. Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, I had a good childhood. I had and enjoyed life as a kid. As I say, I used to love football. I used to play football. I played golf as well. I play the guitar. So like one of
Wow.
me, yeah. So I was
So
a big fan of.
quite a talented kid, I must say.
Yeah, I would. Well, it's because I practiced a lot. I think that's one of the things that when I was a kid, what I sort of learnt about myself was if I wanted to do something, I would put my mind to it. I was quite good at not giving up on things, and if I wanted to sort of become good at something, I would make sure that I would work me hardest to do it. I was good. I was good in school. Um, I would sort of do well in my exams. I'd do well with me schoolwork. I would, and as I say, I had quite a few friends that we all got along. So yeah, it was quite a good childhood, I would say.
Of course. I can
Mm.
see that. So,
Mm.
was there someone in your childhood you think that influenced you a lot? Like, was there someone that you looked up to really particularly?
Um, well, my mum and my dad, I would say, were the
Okay.
first two, as as
Okay.
you would
Of
expect.
course.
It was my dad who sort of instilled into me, it's always good to help people. Um, so he sometimes would say to me, like, when you grow up, do you want to become a doctor? Doctors are always helping people. And a doctor wasn't my thing really.
Yeah,
I wasn't,
right, right.
but um, he was, yeah. So he was the one who sort of instilled that into me as a kid. But I did when I was sort of in my like from like the age of 9 to about the age of 17. I did have
Mm-hmm.
a mentor. Her name was May Kennan, and
Oh, okay.
she lived in the same street as us. She was she had like a drama club, so I was part of her drama club.
Mm.
And what she taught me or helped me with was my public speaking when I was at an early age. So I would
Mm.
do public speaking exams with her, and I would do like pretty well in them. So all through my life, when I grew up, if there's any sort of opportunity or any real need for me to do any public speaking, I was always quite good at it. Like when in the jobs that I had, like I had to do quite a lot of presentations.
Correct.
So if I did that, I would be okay at them because I would have that public speaking behind me. So she was someone who I looked up to. My brother, as I say, I've got three older brothers, so I looked up to them quite a lot. Um, it was them who sort of helped me with me playing the guitar as well. Like they sort of shared their music tastes with me. So I grew up listening to the same music as them.
Oh,
I
nice.
always, yeah, so I always loved the band like Van Halen. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Of course.
Yeah, so Eddie Van Halen was like my hero when I was growing up, and he still, even though he passed away a few years ago, he still is
Mhm.
my. I still look up to him as a bit of a hero. Not because he was just a good guitar player, but because he was like the influence he had on people and how he inspired people to become guitar players as well.
Right,
That
right.
sort of that sort of message that he gave sort of helped me with, you know, growing into a leader and wanting to share my message as well. So I looked up to him quite a bit.
Wonderful. So quite
Yeah,
a, I would say quite a full circle there,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, good. Now, this is an interesting one. Just thought of it that suppose we asked your childhood friends that what would Tom grow up to be? What do you think they'd say?
Uh, well, maybe I mean maybe they might say like, oh, Tom wanted to grow up to be a rock star, a bit like
Ah,
like Eddie. But I would probably say because my dad was an engineer, my brother became an engineer, and then I eventually, when I was 16, I became an engineer as well. So maybe when I was a kid, they they would probably say an engineer because of like as I say, my dad and my brother were engineers. So,
okay.
but they probably would say as well, I would be an engineer and sort of I would be in a leadership position in the engineering world because I was all, as I say, when I was a kid, I was in these clubs like the Cubs and the Scouts, and I would always do my best to help others to become better, to become more in their own lives. So maybe they would say, Tom would be not just in engineering but a leader as well.
Oh, fun. Okay, cool. So talk to us about your biggest career detour.
Um, I would say, well, when I was about 22, I joined the rail industry in the UK.
Okay.
I was in the engineering department, and so that was in 2005. So I started as what the job that I did was a technical officer. So
Mhm.
it wasn't that higher job. It was just a sort of getting into the team and getting my foot into the door with the rail industry, and then but I worked my hardest to like work my way up in the team. This was in Liverpool where I was
Mhm.
from, and I got myself or I convinced the company that I was working for at the time to put me through my engineering degree, so to see if they would pay for it for me, and eventually they did. So
Oh, cool.
I went to university through the company, did my engineering degree, and I finished that in 2009. And then because I was a graduate now, I got myself onto a graduate scheme. But when you join an engineering graduate scheme in the rail industry, you get nominated a mentor. So I had a
Mm-hmm.
mentor, and his name was Ron. And after a couple of years, he said he was sort of inspiring me to, he was saying to me, you've done quite a bit in the rail industry now, and you've done your degree. You can tell that when you're working with people, you can tell that you've got leadership skills. You can tell you're leading people without the leadership title. So how do you feel about moving into a leadership position? And I was I was happy to do it. I was like, yeah, definitely, I want to. That's something I've always wanted to do anyway. So I want to become, like a manager. I want to become a leader within the rail industry. And with the company I was working for, there wasn't any positions going at the time. So I
Mm-hmm.
waited a couple of years, and there still wasn't. So I found a job. I thought to myself, well, I'm going to look elsewhere. I'm going to move. I'm going to look outside of Liverpool. There's lots of jobs going all over the UK, and I found a job in Scotland. So I went up for a job interview in Edinburgh,
Mm-hmm.
with the company, the ScotRail company, and they said to me after the interview, "Yeah, we want to take you on." So in 2011, I left my hometown of Liverpool and moved into my first leadership position in Scotland. And I went up there on my own. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know where I was living. I didn't know the city. I didn't know the people. I didn't know anybody. So I would say that was my biggest, or one of my first major career detours was moving from Liverpool to Edinburgh. And then I did that for about 2 years. The job was a production manager, so you were on shift, and it was the first time I ever
Yeah.
did night shifts and back shifts as well as day shifts. And
Mm-hmm.
the team that you worked with wasn't always the same team because of the shift pattern.
Of course.
So I had to, meet a lot of people really, really quickly, get to know them, get to build relationships with them, so that I could
Mm-hmm.
be, a positive influence on them when I was on shift. And so that took about 2 years in Edinburgh, and then after 2 years of working there was another position going in Glasgow, which is the other side of Scotland.
Right.
Um, so I moved there, and I moved into, it was a similar position to what I was doing in Edinburgh, but it was just because it was in Glasgow and it was different. It was another way for me to challenge myself and to meet more people, build my network,
Mm-hmm.
and take that next career detour. So I did that for 2 years, and then I decided now maybe it's time for another challenge. Maybe where can I do this? So I looked elsewhere, saw a job in London, in England. So I said to myself, I'm going to go for that. So I went for it. After I did the interview, they said to me, "Yeah, you've got the job." So I moved to London in 2015, and I've been here ever since.
Wonderful. So quite a bit there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And all on your own. Fantastic. So now, what do you think that corporate life has taught you the most valuable lesson before you actually moved on your own completely?
Um, I think the most valuable lesson it's taught me is how to lead yourself, how to, I mean, because when people talk about leadership, they talk about leading other people. I mean, leadership is about other people, but it does start with you. You've got to be able to lead yourself before you can lead other people. And I
Powerful.
think, and I think one of the most important lessons I've learned through the corporate world is being able to do that. And because moving into a different job in a different country, it's not just about the job; it's about it's your whole life. Because outside of work, you've got to be able to handle yourself. You've got to be able to, you know, do the job, be comfortable within the job, be confident within the job. But then you've got to be comfortable and confident outside of the job as well. You've got to be comfortable and confident
The
in a brand new
environment and all of it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I would say that was probably the biggest lesson was firstly how to lead myself, and then when I moved into my own leadership development was to learn how to um, make myself the most valuable. So that other people can learn from me, like, and I can share my knowledge with others to help them on their leadership journeys as well.
Mhm. Cool. Now, you make people more effective leaders. Now, mm, how did you end up finding that clarity on your own?
Um, well, I think the what sort of made me want to start helping people become leaders through, you know, um, was my own sort of lead on my own leadership journey. It's not always been perfect. It's not always been, I move into a job and it's gone really well, and I move into somewhere else and it's gone really well. There was a time when I did move into a job when I was in London not so long ago. This was in 2017. I moved into a really good job. It was a deputy head of engineering job, so it was quite a senior engineering leadership level. Not It wasn't the highest level, but it was quite senior. And I didn't realize at the time how difficult it was going to be, because the guy above me and then the guy above him,
Mm-hmm.
even though they were in high leadership positions, senior leadership positions, they weren't very good leaders. They didn't really know how to lead. They were more like dictators and micromanagers, and were on your back every 5 minutes, and they were phoning you up at like 1 o'clock in the morning when things are going wrong and stuff like that. And because they were like that to me, and encouraging me to be like that with my team. And at the time, um, I wasn't as strong as a leader as I am now, and I wasn't as strong as at pushing back and telling people, no, I disagree. So I kind of just took what they told me to do, and
Mm.
I managed my team like that. That's the word. I managed my team. I didn't lead them, and the reason I did that is because I didn't want my bosses to think I was doing something wrong, and maybe fire me or something like that, or make me do something
Right.
else. And it was when I left that job that I thought to myself, no, I think by sharing my own leadership journey with people and showing them how bad I had it, maybe I can help them realize, no, I don't want to help. I don't want my people to feel like that. I don't want to treat my people like that. I can learn from Tom's journey to, be better. Be do what the opposite to what Tom did. And that
Correct.
was my way of like getting my message across at that time, before I thought about writing and creating leadership materials for people.
Cool. Now, how do you stay connected to your purpose even on, say, like difficult days?
Well, my why is to help the current and future leaders develop themselves into highly effective leaders, so that they can help current and future leaders develop themselves into highly effective leaders. So even if things are going difficult, like within my life, I would I would always say to myself, if I'm going to do this, is this going to enhance my purpose? Like,
Mhm.
is this going to make me the best leader I can be? Is this going to help me? If it's if it's in a coaching situation, maybe, and the person who I'm talking to is in a really difficult situation, am I, what am I? Are the questions I'm going to ask them going to help them, or are they going to, are they going to make it worse? So if the question I'm going to ask doesn't enhance my why or my purpose, then I won't ask it. Or if the action that I'm going to take doesn't enhance my why or my purpose, then I won't take that action. I may have in the past, when I felt I wasn't strong enough.
Yeah. So tell us how you stay connected with your purpose, to your purpose, even on, difficult days.
Well, my purpose and my why is to help current and future leaders develop themselves into highly effective leaders, so that they can help current and future leaders develop themselves into highly effective leaders. So if I'm in a situation where I'm leading a team, or I'm in a coaching setting, like a one-to-one, if the question I'm going to ask or the action I'm going to take doesn't enhance my purpose, I mean, because I have my purpose in the front of my mind all the time. If it doesn't enhance that purpose, then I won't take that action, or I won't ask that question, because I don't see the I don't see the point in it anymore, because what if it's not, if the action I'm going to take or the question I'm going to ask isn't just going to enhance my purpose, it's not going to help them either, the person or the team I'm with, or the person who I'm coaching. If it's not going to help
Mm-hmm.
them either, then there's no point in asking it. So I'll discard that. I'll disregard it. And since I've started thinking like that, it's really, really helped. Because a while ago, when I was in that job position I've just described, when I wasn't a strong leader, I was being micromanaged and I couldn't push back and things like that, I probably would have taken those actions or asked those questions or done things where it didn't enhance, my purpose or help the person or the team who I was working with. So that's how I feel I stay connected, is by, if every action I take or every question I ask or everything that I do needs to enhance that purpose.
Absolutely. Cool. So now, what does success look for you? Like, how do you define success? Beyond the numbers, beyond accolades, titles, etc. Tell us.
Well, the way I see it, I mean, since I started, writing books and doing what I'm doing on LinkedIn and things like that, it's not about, as you say, it's not about accolades, it's not about job titles, it's not about earning a lot of money off what I do or anything like that. It's about getting my message out there and helping people. And if I can share my message every single day, if
Mhm.
people want to download my free content, or they want to buy one of my books, or they want to become part of my coaching program, that's success. It's not about making a lot of money. It's about, I see this as a lifelong journey now.
Of
This is my
course.
life. This is my lifelong work that I'm doing. Because usually in a job, even if you get to, like, say, CEO level, you'll get to, like, say, 65 and you'll retire, and you'll go and do whatever you want for the rest of your life. Whereas I see this as, I'm going to be doing this until the day I die, because this is my life's work. I'm going to be talking about my leadership journey every single day of the week, and as long as that helps one person every single day, that's how I
Mhm.
see success, because, like, if you look at, like, some of them, like the most famous leaders, celebrities in the world, they don't retire at 65. They keep doing it until they can't do it anymore,
So I can
and
say that this is your passion.
yeah, absolutely.
You can never give up on passion.
No,
So I think this is what it is for you as well. So it's a beautiful marriage between passion and purpose.
absolutely.
Wonderful. Excellent. So when did you first realize that you wanted to write a book?
Well, after I had that sort of breakdown in my job in 2018, I left the job and I took 3 months out. And firstly, I took those 3 months out to find a new job. But what I realized after, like, say, a month or two, about a month of those 3 months, was, I need to share I need to share what's just happened with me with people, like I described before. But how could I do that? Maybe, like, I could write that. I could write it down, and maybe I can put it into a blog, and maybe people can see it on the internet and learn from it, and maybe it'll help them. So that's what I did. So I started a website or a blog site called highlyeffectiveleader.com, which is still my platform today. and this was in 2019. This was in January 2019 when I started it, and so I just started writing like blog posts, like say one a week. And the way I saw progress then, and I still do now, is if I can write a paragraph a day, I'm making progress. But
Of course.
at that time, I was, it was coming, the writing was pouring out of me because I had so much to give, and I was writing like so much a day. And I was thinking to
Mm.
myself after about 6 months of doing the blog site, I thought I could put this into a book. How could I do
Mhm.
that? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I invested in this course. It was called self-publishing school. I don't know if you've heard of it. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so self-publishing school. So I invested in that, and it sort of taught you how to, how to typeset your book, how many
Correct.
words your book should be. So
Okay.
how to do your outline, how to do your chapters and stuff like that. So I did the whole course, and after about a month of doing that, I started putting together my first book, and my first book was called. I decided to call it Manager to Leader, and the reason I decided that was because the job that I was just in, my title was engineering technical manager, but
Okay.
my real responsibility and the
Mhm.
responsibility of the people above me was leader, and that's not what I was. I was just a manager, and I should have been a leader. So I thought to myself, right, what I'm going to write here, I'm going to help people grow out of that management role into a leadership role. Even if the
Absolutely.
title, even if the job
Absolutely.
title is manager for for the rest of their life, their
Mhm.
responsibility is leadership. And
Mhm.
that's what I thought to myself when I wrote that first book, was manager to leader. And after a while of writing more blogs, I thought I've got enough material here to do so many books. So
Mhm.
I just thought to myself, I'm going to create a series.
Mhm.
So after a while, it's been 5 years now since I published my first book in 2021, and I've got the Highly Effective Leaders series on Amazon.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. Congratulations.
Oh,
So,
thank
what
you.
were some of the biggest challenges that you were facing while writing the book?
Um, well, I think the biggest challenge was I didn't just want to, because before I was able to write the book, and before I was able to get enough material to put it together, I had to learn more about leadership. I mean, I'd read so many books, and I'd learned a lot through, like YouTube videos, watching like John Maxwell, Simon Sinek, all these great
Correct.
leadership
Correct.
gurus
Amazing. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
experts. And I thought to myself, I can't just write what they're talking about. I've got to practice what they're talking about. I can't just share it. I've got to practice it myself and share how I've practiced it, and share where it's gone right, where it's gone wrong, and what I did to rectify it when it went wrong, and how I kept it going, and not give up on what I was doing. So the biggest challenge was sort of, how can I, in each chapter, write about a certain leadership principle, and then write how I've practiced that, and how I made it either work for me, or if it didn't work for me, what I did to eventually make it work for me, or if it didn't eventually, then keep going,
Mm.
and keep practicing and practicing. And that was how I saw the challenge was,
Mm.
before I could write everything down, I had to go away and practice it with people, even if it was just practicing it with
Absolutely. Of course. Of course.
my own friends and family. It didn't have to be just in the workplace with the team or with anything like that. It can, because leadership is about life. It's not about a job or a job
It's
position.
not.
It's about
Exactly.
life.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. So that's how
Yep.
I saw the
Yep.
biggest challenge at first.
Wonderful. Now, what's the biggest myth about leadership that your work tries to break?
Uh, I would say that from the books that I've written, like there's the 5 books that I've written, there's a thread that goes between all of them, like a
Okay.
sort of, I would
So it's
say,
like a continuation kind of thing.
yeah,
So there's a
yeah, and
connection between all of them.
yeah,
Good.
and
Okay. Okay.
and the sort of, and the connection or the myth, as you describe it, I would say is, you know, it's getting that message, that leadership. It's not about it's never about being a micromanager of people. It's never about dictating to people. It's never about being in a leadership position. It's never about being in a powerful position. It's never about telling people what to do and how to do it.
Mhm.
Leadership is about inspiring people. It's about motivating people, influencing people. I mean, leadership is influence, and influence is leadership. That's how I see it. And you know that that's probably the biggest thread is influence. Is every single person within the world has the ability to influence another person.
Absolutely. Of
So,
course.
so, so every single person in the world has the ability to be a leader. And I would say that was one of the biggest myths is every single person can do this and probably has a responsibility to do it as well. It's
True.
not just
True.
people in leadership positions or job positions or, you know,
With
president.
managerial titles.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Yeah. Yeah.
prime ministers or presidents or anything like that. Everybody can do it.
I feel leaders create leaders. You pass on the baton, you know. So that
Absolutely.
is that is how you also identify leaders, is that if you have the similar thought process, that you should also be creating other leaders. And
Absolutely.
also, a good title could be a manager is not a leader. A lot of
Yeah,
the times, we think that, oh, he's the manager, so he's a leader. No, he's not a leader. He's just managing.
exactly.
But a good manager is a leader.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So walk us through your morning routine a little. How do you keep your leadership engine running?
Well, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning,
Nice.
which is obviously quite early. I go straight onto I come into my living room, make myself a cup of coffee, and I go straight onto my laptop and I go onto LinkedIn. I have a look at what's going on LinkedIn, and then I'll write a blog a LinkedIn post, and I'll always put a link into the LinkedIn post of one of my either a free ebook. At the moment, I'm sharing a free ebook called Increase Your Influence. I'm sharing a chapter 1 of my latest book, which is called Highly Effective Teams, for free. So people can maybe, might want to read the rest of the book. And I'm also sharing a free online course called How Leaders Lead Change. So once I put my LinkedIn post out there, it's time to go to work. And at the moment, I'm working with an engineering company. I'm helping them in the rail industry,
Mm-hmm.
and so where I'm working is about an hour and a half away. So I have to get the train to where I'm going, and then I'll be with them all day, do some work with them, and then when I come home, I go onto LinkedIn again, and I share my second LinkedIn post.
Oh,
And,
nice.
yeah, but I'm also during the day while I'm working with people, I'm also still writing. So as I say, I'll write at least one paragraph a day, every single day of my life. Sometimes it's more, but it's never less. Um,
Wonderful.
and as I say, I'm always available for people if they want to talk to me about anything.
Mhm.
If they want to talk about coaching, if they want to talk about anything, I'm available for if they they can go into my they can book an appointment with me on LinkedIn, or they can go onto my website and find out get in touch with me there.
When you're available and all that, yeah.
Yeah. So as I say, my daily routine is primarily focused on my leadership work.
People. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, tell us a moment that moved you deeply because you've coached so many people. So, we'd love to hear about that.
Um, I would say my first uh, coaching session that I had, because it's not so long ago that I became a coach. So when I got my coaching diploma and started coaching people,
Mm,
um, I was really nervous. Like when, because as with anything, if you're starting something new, you're always nervous about it. But the first sort of coaching client that I had, it was an internal coaching client with who I was working with. So I didn't know the person, but I knew the team that she worked in, and who like what she did as a job and stuff like that. And she came to me with an issue, saying that she wanted to move up like be promoted into a job position, but she
mm,
didn't know how to, and she was expecting me to just tell her how to do it and what to do, and how to go about it. But as my role as, I would see it as a leader and as a coach, my job is to help her find out that herself. My job is to help her find the solution herself.
of course.
And after a few sessions of doing, I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to share what was confidential with her, but after about a few sessions with her, she put into action what she said she was going to do, and eventually she got a job interview that she never ever thought she would get, and
Wow.
she got promoted. And I'm not going to say that was all down to me, but I would like to say that I helped her in doing that,
Of
and
course, of course.
that really
Such
did
a
that.
fulfilling moment for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sort of brought it home to me that I'm actually quite good at this. Then I can do this.
Of
I
course,
can, I
of
can be.
course.
Yeah. And
These
since
are the
then,
moments that you realize even your strength, you know?
exactly. Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd worked with teams before, and we'd achieved good things. Obviously there was times when we didn't, and things went wrong. But that's how life is, isn't it? But it's just those moments when you realize, yeah, you know, I mean, congratulations to the person who was working with. This was all down to her, but I played a small part in that, and that's what sort of brought it home to me that, yeah, I can do this. I'm quite good at this. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, you can. So,
Mm.
what's
And
one personal failure that actually turned out to be a powerful teacher?
well, I would say that, I mean, I've talked about it before. I would say that the job that I was in,
Mm,
um, the failure in that job for me, uh, that was down to me, was not being able to um, not being able to handle negativity. And my job as a leader is to be able to handle that, especially when I'm the one being negative to other people, but I can't see it. And that's what I was doing in that job. I was being negative to people because I
mm,
was telling people what to do, how to do it. And uh, sometimes they would challenge me back and say, I don't agree with what you're saying there, Tom. I think
mm.
we should do it this way. And I would say, my response to that would be, well, I don't care what you think. Go and do it.
Right.
Basically, shut your mouth and get on with it. And
Exactly. Exactly.
when I was at that time, when I was quite blind to what I was doing. I was quite um, I couldn't see what I was doing. And at the time as well, probably what didn't help was because I was getting so stressed in that job, and because the way I was being treated by my own line managers. I used to go
Right.
to the pub. I used to go to the
Right.
pub quite a lot. I used to
Mm,
drink quite a bit at that time. I
mm.
wasn't, I didn't have a drink problem, or I wasn't an alcoholic, but I used to use alcohol to help with that, and it was obviously the wrong thing to do.
Of course, of
So,
course.
over for nearly a year now, I don't drink alcohol anymore.
Cool.
So so that was one of the things that sort of brought it home again to me was, you need to make that sacrifice of not going to the pub with your mates all the time, not partying and stuff like that on weekends. If you want to do this, if you want to do this right, if you want to help people properly, you need to take that away, and that's what I've done. And
True.
also I've worked on myself so much that I can push back on people now. If people are being negative towards me, or if they're being negative towards people who I'm in charge, who are in my charge, I can
Mhm.
have that confidence to push
Mhm.
back and say no to people.
I
And
was just gonna
also,
say, so you've learned to say no.
yeah, exactly. And
Right. That's
also,
an art. That's an art.
yeah, exactly. And also, when leading people, I don't tell them how to do it and what to do. And if they come back to me with new ideas that I think are better than mine, they have my power to go and try them out. I am
Of
empowering
course.
them to, rather than me say no, just get on with it. Go and have a go. See how it goes. If it works, great. If it doesn't, let's talk about it and see what else we can come up with.
Absolutely.
Empowerment is a huge part of leadership, and that's something that
I
I
think
had
that's
to
it.
learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It is
definitely.
also allowing them to identify their own strengths.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
giving them the opportunity to learn about themselves. You know,
Absolutely.
not just me to tell them, that you need to do
This
this or
is
you need
how
to
you
do
do it. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
they need to
Yeah.
learn themselves.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Cool. So, what do you think? That's one thing that people will be very surprised to find about you or learn
Um,
about.
well, I'm not married. uh,
Okay.
I don't have a girlfriend. I,
Okay.
yeah, I live alone in London, which I'm happy about, by the way. I'm not lonely or anything like that.
Oh,
Um,
good.
uh,
You're married to your purpose, probably.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Uh-huh. No.
if I do eventually meet somebody, then great. I'm not
Okay.
against it or anything like that. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
probably, probably that's probably one of the major things.
Something that people will be surprised. Oh, hey, Tom. Okay. Cool. Yeah. What's that one quote that never fails to inspire you?
Um, I would say leadership is about others, but it starts with you.
Hmm.
It's
True.
I use that quite a lot, and also another quote maybe is be the leader that you always wish you had.
Ah, that's a
You know,
nice one. I really
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah,
True.
like
Very- That's a very powerful and very like it touches you.
yeah, definitely, because it helps you be better than
Yeah.
than you were.
Hmm.
You know, use your past to measure yourself against now. Don't live in your past. Use it to measure
Yeah.
what you're doing now. So if you did a certain thing yesterday, do it better today.
Hmm.
Be better today, and then tomorrow do it better again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you had a fan moment?
Um, yeah, I've had quite with the people who I've worked with and the people who have read my books. I've been at like networking events,
Hmm.
and someone's noticed, oh, are you the guy who wrote that manager to lead a book? And I was like, this was a while ago when I wrote my first book. And I was like, yeah, that's me. Yeah. How did you know about that? And said, oh, I bought it on Amazon. And I was like, oh, right, thanks very much. This was in London. Um, and the guy who bought it wasn't actually from England. He lived in England, but he wasn't from England.
Hmm.
He was from India, and he
Oh.
worked in the yeah. So he worked in the rail industry as well. But he saw me on LinkedIn, saw that I was sharing the link to the book, and through that link he bought it. And he saw me in this networking event. So Yeah, so I talked to him for a while. He didn't have the book with him, so I couldn't sign it for him. But I said to him, like, if you ever see me again, or if you ever want to meet up, and talk to me about the book, or if you ever need any help with it or help with your leadership, get in
Mhm.
touch. He's not been in touch since, but if he wanted to, then he could.
Cool. Now, if you weren't a leadership coach, what alternate career choice do you think you'd have? And enjoying it. I think
Uh,
I know. Maybe rock star.
yeah, I still play the guitar now. I'm not in a band or anything like that.
Of
Uh,
course.
but yeah, maybe if it was if I wasn't in the engineering world and I wasn't like doing the engineering leadership job and I didn't, and then eventually coaching, yeah, probably a rock star. Yeah, I would like to be.
Good. Okay, wonderful. All right, so now let's jump into some rapid fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing you Googled.
Uh, what was the last thing I googled? Ticketmaster. I was
Ah,
looking for
nice.
tick. I was looking for tickets for a gig. I was looking for Led Zeppelin tickets.
Oh, cool.
I
Fab.
think I think they're coming back out. So that was last night. That was when I got home from about 9 o'clock last night.
Cool. Book you recommend the most?
Can I say one of my own?
Oh, of course.
I would say my latest book, Highly Effective Teams. It's about how to lead and grow a highly effective team. So
Fantastic.
it's not just about you. It's about other people.
The team as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Leadership in one word.
Influence.
Most used app on your phone.
LinkedIn.
Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
Ah, okay. That's cool. Would you much rather talk to a fictional character or would you rather speak every language in the world? Just a choice.
I would rather speak every language in the world.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Inspiring leader or great listener?
Uh, that's a tough one. Can I say both?
If you were, yeah, of course. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
Great listener.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, if you could do only one thing for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Um, be a leadership coach.
Cool. Would you rather have a personal assistant or a private chef?
Personal assistant.
Ah, good. 3 words your clients use to describe you.
Um, inspiring, influencing, and growing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, what's next for Tom?
Well, I'm in the middle of writing my sixth book. So the plan is to publish that
Mm-hmm,
in January next year.
mm-hmm,
I've nearly finished with it, but
mm-hmm,
I'm not sharing it because I'm trying to do a book a year. But
mm-hmm,
also, I'm taking on new clients as well, new coaching clients. So if people are interested in coaching with me,
mm-hmm,
they can go through LinkedIn or they can go through my website. My website's highlyeffectiveleader.com,
mm-hmm.
and they can find my coaching page on there. Um, and also I'm developing myself into a leadership speaker, because the sort of three areas that I want to use to share my leadership messages through writing, so books, an
Right,
author,
right. Mm-hmm.
coach, and speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined the Toastmasters Club a few weeks ago. So I've
Oh,
been to 3 meetings so far. I'm doing
mm-hmm.
my icebreaker speech on Wednesday
Oh, cool.
uh, in the Toastmasters Club, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use I'm going to use the Toastmasters platform to grow myself into a leadership speaker,
Mm-hmm.
and have that, those three pillars, speaking, coaching, and
Aligned
author.
and all of that. I've heard good things about the club.
Yeah,
So I think they can empower a lot of. I've heard a lot of friends be empowered through them.
yeah. I mean,
So which
speaking
I
to,
think so that's I think a good move.
yeah,
But
definitely. I mean, the people in the club who I've spoken to and been in the meetings with, you know, they're really lovely people, and they've listened to me. Like when I've told them what I do, um, they're really interested. They're like, oh wow, you write books, because it's not something that everybody does every
does.
day,
Of course not. Of course not. Yeah.
and it's good, to
It's
have
not
that.
every day you meet an author. You don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Right.
I might not be like a Times best-selling author, but doesn't matter. As long
Doesn't
as
matter.
people.
Doesn't matter. As long as you're impacting lives,
Exactly.
your audience, and as long as you're impacting lives, I think that's all that should matter.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
now, if your legacy could be summed up in one principle, what would it be?
Well, my vision is I can see a world in which our leaders focus on people, and they create an environment that helps their people to learn to lead, grow, and increase their influence for the good of other people.
To
So that
flourish.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what I want to see my legacy as. That's what a highly effective leader is for me.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Wonderful. It was so nice chatting with you, Tom. And
And
I think we've pretty much covered everything. And in case we do have some additional questions for you, we will reach out to you
yeah,
for with regards to maybe like pictures or videos or anything like that when we have our article out and video and all of that.
yeah.
But I think it was a great conversation, and now I would love to hear from you. What did you think of Global Influencers Hub? If you can say a couple of lines for us, would be amazing.
But first of all, it was great to meet you. It was a great conversation. It really inspired me. I think
Thank you.
Global Influencers Hub is one of the best I've seen so far uh, on the internet. When it comes to helping other influencers get their message out there, and get that leadership message out there as well. That we're all shooting for the same thing. All we want to do is help other people, and
Correct.
this is how.
There's alignment. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And I think Global Influencers Hub is one of the best ways, or one of the best sites that I've seen to do that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You have a beautiful day.
Yeah, you
And all
too.
the best for everything from the entire team.
Well, thank you very much, and all the best to you too.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.